minority leader, Honorable Mukunji himself, sees there is something good to support, or he says something good that I feel is good to support, I will support. But you see, Honorable Speaker, the problem is that some of us have taken this chamber as an avenue for propagating rumors they collect out there. And I said here yesterday, Honorable Speaker, you heard somebody say that the Finance Bill 2024 had provisions touching on land. Another one said they had provisions touching on Mitumba. And you could hear a select number of these members who congregated somewhere there raise the same issues, Honorable Speaker, to speak to the gallery, to speak to the people out there. This morning, Honorable Speaker, it took the person who was at the chair to correct the member for Chwele, he's called Honorable Kalasinga, who purported the finance bill had a clause 169. Sure. A bill that had only 56, 57 clauses. Honorable Speaker, I had another one here yesterday telling us, don't tell us to point to a clause. We know, we are not fools. But I ask myself, if you are not a fool, then you should be able to read a bill and tell us this particular provision is contained in clause number 1, clause number 2, clause number 3. And therefore, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for guiding the member for Manyata to restrict himself to the supplementary estimates 2 of 2025-2026. Not to take us to that circus of just wanting to point fingers. I know some of you, like him and the member for Kajiado North, Honorable Bongokoyo, if they don't mention the leader of majority or leader of minority, their leaders out there will whip them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mukunji, you can be sure you are protected from any whipping outside there.
Honorable Speaker, I will just not respond to the majority leader, simply because there was no point of order, and he is just lucky that he got your eye and got a chance to contribute. But Honorable Speaker, my contribution was rightly put, that as we pass this supplementary budget, the finance bill is where these resources come from. And I was guiding this House simply and clearly that while we are passing these taxes, and while this House, the minority and the majority side, have combined efforts to ensure the executive have their way, they must not forget that they represent the people of Kenya. We are the only representative that have been given mandate to speak on the behalf of people of Kenya. So, Honorable Speaker, I was saying, and I will repeat, that this House has a responsibility, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Jared Okello is on a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and I would want to correct this notion that only those who oppose the government speak for the people. Honorable Speaker, when a government is formed, be it those who voted for that government or those who opposed that government at the ballot, it then becomes one universal government for the day, Honorable Speaker. And to delude people into believing that there is a section that can only represent the wishes of the people to the detriment of those who are also in this House but are supporting the cause of government is misplaced, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have constantly, right from the onset, seen a kind of desperation here where there are people trying to whip up emotions of the Kenyan citizenry so that whatever they have planned, be it on the 25th, 26th, I don't know when, that it must have to be achieved by giving the wrong information to the populace out there, Honorable Speaker. We have a document that all of us have read. We do know that the government must also run its programs, Honorable Speaker. And it is not only restricted to the Republic of Kenya. Every government must mop up funds to run programs, be it recurrent expenditure and development, Honorable Speaker. And when we have a document such as this that is before us, it has to be read with a tooth comb and critique where necessary, but only basing on facts and not conjecture, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, it behoves all of us in this House who represent the wishes and the plight of the people out there to be factual. And that also helps our people make a deliberate decision, be it those who are in this House and those who are outside this House, Honorable Speaker. So I implore upon each and every individual here to restrict themselves to the confines of this document without necessarily being extra. I hope you will have your time, honorable members, that we do not have to be extra, you know, without necessarily understanding the depth and the width of the document that is before us, Honorable Speaker. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, Honorable Mukunji, you have 1 minute to wind up.
Honorable Speaker, all these interruptions, you can see clearly, they are meant to just dissuade the alternative voice in this House. But Honorable Speaker, I'll still insist, and I've said we are not only the representative of the, but sometimes, Honorable Speaker, you have to remind this House. Honorable Speaker, in 2024, this House passed the finance bill. And everybody is aware that the population, almost 90% of this nation, was against that finance bill. It is the president actually that said he's not going to sign. And this House had passed it. And Honorable Speaker, we cannot ignore this fact that at some point you have to remind the people that they are representative of the people out there. But Honorable Speaker, because I'm concluding, as we pass, we need to see and ensure that we don't over-budget for some offices so that we ensure Kenyans get value for money and we put our monies where our mouths are as Kenyans. We don't need to have an increment in budget in places where actually almost sevenfold when you consider from 2021 to almost 2026.
Yeah, the Honorable Wandeto, the MP for Tetu, Honorable Geoffrey Wandeto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would also like to contribute to these supplementary estimates, which seeks to increase the overall budget from 2.913 trillion to about 2.931 trillion, an increase of 18 billion shillings. And Mr. Speaker, the concern of every Kenyan is that out there, people are struggling to put food at the table. People are struggling to fuel their vehicles with the current increases in fuel and in the attendant cost of living. And Kenyans have generally been crying that they wish to see a government that is more responsible when it comes to expenditure, a country that lives within its means. Mr. Speaker, we have continuously seen what I would call an expansionist budget over the last few years, moving, I think, from a low of 1.8 trillion, I think that's where Kibaki left us, now to 4.8 trillion. And Mr. Speaker, a lot of this is coming with two costs. One, the widening budget deficit, which this year, and I know we are not speaking about this year's budget, is estimated to move to about 1.2 trillion shillings. And also the increased debt burden to the country. And I feel, Mr. Speaker, we could be doing a lot of things at the expense of the future generations of this country. And so as responsible leaders, Mr. Speaker, it is important that even as we think through the budget estimates, even as we think through the expenditure for this country, that we spare a thought for the ordinary Kenyan, and that we also apply our money to the areas that directly benefit our people. Looking at where the 18 billion is going, it's difficult, Mr. Speaker, to really speak to some measurable, direct benefits to the common mwananchi. We could make the president more comfortable at a better state house. We could build bigger stadiums, which are coming at a very huge cost to this country. But to what extent is that really benefiting Wanjiku, as we always talk about, the common mwananchi? Mr. Speaker, the other issue is our absorption capacity. Again, you find at the end of every financial year, you have money that was appropriated, but that has not been spent. So we also long for the day the chairman of the budget committee will come with a supplementary budget that is reducing. Because every time we see is an increase from the last estimate. When will we come and tell Kenyans that now we are ready to cut our cloth, according to our size? We are ready to live within our means, and that we are ready to start making sacrifices on some of these non-essential items. I've seen the office of the deputy president has been added 100 million shillings. This is the same office that was that we were told, has overshot its transport budget because of the number of choppers that it has to hire or the frequency of those choppers. Mr. Speaker, we've also been told by the Anti-Corruption Commission that approximately 2 billion shillings, 2 to 3 billion shillings is stolen every day. So again, when I look at the 18 billion, is this theft for 1 week? Because if we are going to pass money, then it is stolen in a week's time. Because if 3 billion is stolen every day, the 21 billion will be stolen in exactly 1 week. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to think about some of these things. I brought to this house, Mr. Speaker, last week, and Mr. Speaker, I brought to this house. You can protect me from...
Emmanuel Wangwe is on a point of order.
Okay.
Just take your seat briefly on the Wandeto.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, will I be in order to ask my very good colleague, the CPA, Wandeto, to also mention that statistic is statistics as per the former president, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I can answer my chairman. The latest ESC statistics shows that the country is losing 783 billion to corruption. So you can divide that by 365, and my chairman, I know his phone has a calculator, it will come to roughly about 2 to 3 billion.
Honorable John Wandeto, just take your seat. The chair of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs is on a point of order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I was studying on 83. Honorable Wandeto is required to substantiate what he is stating as a matter of fact when he knows that he doesn't have the facts. Any allusion to 2 billion shillings being lost in a day was actually made by the former president, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. We have not had any other report whatsoever from anywhere howsoever that we are losing money on a daily basis and at what rate. So if he's drawing an analogy with that statement, he has to say so. If he states it as a matter of fact, we require substantiation because we do not have any facts of any allegation that we are losing 2 billion shillings, less or more per day, as he alleges.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to move on. And,
Honorable Wandeto, let me read for you the provisions of Standing Order number 91. At sub-order 1, it says, a member shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. You've just mentioned that the country is losing 2 to 3 billion. Would you substantiate so that we go over the matter?
Yes, I would invite Honorable Murugara. After this, he can come and I can show him the latest ESCC report. The latest ESCC report is also online.
Honorable Wandeto.
It is also online.
Honorable Wandeto, whatever you say before the floor is not for...
So, Mr. Speaker, can I offer to bring
don't interrupt.
the data?
don't interrupt the speaker. Did you hear the word instantly? And that is what you are being required to do. If you cannot substantiate instantly, you withdraw that statement and you make it when you have the substantiation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, like I promised, I'll bring the data. So for now, let me withdraw the allegation, but I will come back to this House to bring the report. Because I know...
No, that is very much in order.
This is a setup. But Mr. Speaker, more importantly,
members, that is
2
very
weeks ago,
much in order.
last week...
No, just a minute. That statement is withdrawn and let it be expunged from the record. Honorable Wandeto retains his right as a member to make that claim as and when in the future he will be able to substantiate.
We will be able to substantiate, Mr. Speaker. But it would also not be honest for this House to say there is no corruption, wastage of public resources in this country. But we will deal with that data. But Mr. Speaker, more importantly, last week when we were debating the estimates for the 2026-2027 financial year, I brought to this House proposals, or I had proposed a reduction of the budget by 91 billion. Those proposals, Mr. Speaker, seems to have been lost somewhere. The Honorable Atandi and now are still looking for them, and maybe at the right time we'll be able to spend them. But Mr. Speaker, generally what I'm saying is that as a country, this is the time to start thinking about the future generation, about reducing our expenditure, about cutting waste and unnecessary fat, because as a country we cannot grow, especially if we continue this expansionist with recurrent budget, even at the expense of a development budget. The other thing is that we are hardly meeting our revenue estimates. I heard the Honorable Mutunga saying we are adjusting this because we have realized we are going to meet the revenue. The year is still having 2 weeks pending. How did he know that we are going to meet the revenue? So, Mr. Speaker, I think we need to do a better job with these supplementary estimates. Thank you.
The Honorable Makali Mulu, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will be very brief. Being a member of the Budget Committee, I join my colleagues in supporting the supplementary budget, but I have to make the following observations. The originators of supplementary budget is Treasury, National Treasury. And with all due respect to this House, Honorable Speaker, 2 weeks to an end of our financial year sends the wrong signals in terms of planning and budgeting. I think into the future, Honorable Speaker, we should be firm as a House that the last supplementary budget to this House should be coming at least a month or two to the end of the financial year. We cannot stop it because it's a constitutional provision under 223, but I think 2 weeks to the end of our financial year, that is really not good for the House. The second item, Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, and I think is important, Honorable Speaker, I think members seem to have forgotten that the budget we are discussing, which is this year's financial budget, Honorable Speaker, had a huge budget deficit. And what has happened even over time, Honorable Speaker, many times I've talked about a moving deficit target. How I wish that some of these savings we are talking about through A&A and other amounts not being utilized would have been pushed to reduce the budget deficit so that we reduce our public debt, Honorable Speaker. Public debt is a huge, huge problem in this country now where we are. We always keep on talking about it being sustainable, but I think we need to make a very deliberate move, Honorable Speaker, that we start reducing it. So with those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I want to support it. But Honorable Speaker, also another statement of fact, Honorable Speaker. I think members have said here that I think by design, the architecture of this House is that you have a majority side and you have a minority side, Honorable Speaker. The expectation is always that the majority side might be carrying the voice of the executive. The minority side is expected to provide alternative voice to that voice of the executive. And in a situation where you find that in many cases, and Honorable Speaker, I want to challenge anybody in this House to tell me when is the last time we had the minority leader of this House giving different opinion from the majority leader, so that he can come and try to harass his deputy by saying that he is taken over his position. It is not taking over his position. It is stating things as they are, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makali, don't go back there.
No, Honorable Speaker. I think he's
Don't
stating
go back
things as they
there.
are.
In fact,
But-
let me tell you.
But with those many remarks, I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Lastly, Honorable John Kagusha. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to make my contribution to this supplementary budget. And of course, I have a few observations I have made. And for that reason, I want to oppose this supplementary budget. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the additional request for supplementary number 2, table number 1, vote number 1012, Office of the Deputy President, we are increasing his allocation at this late hour with 200 million Kenya shillings. Vote number 1017, we are increasing the allocation for State House with 1 billion Kenya shillings. Vote number 1026, State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, again on recurrent, is being increased by 1.55 billion Kenya shillings. Vote number 1281 on National Intelligence Services is being increased by 3.55 billion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, the total amount of money that is being increased 2 weeks before the end of the financial year is 6.3 billion Kenya shillings, and this is recurrent expenditure for the high and mighty of this republic. Honorable Speaker, considering that we have very many challenges in this country that we are facing as a people, it is unfair that this House should sit today to pass a supplementary budget that is increasing the comfort of the executive by a tune of 6.3 billion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, this would be the most unfair thing that we can do in this country. Remember, we have very many people who are suffering and are not able to pay their hospital bills. We have very many people today and schools that cannot run because they have not received their capitation. Yet, we have a challenge whereby we want to pass this kind of budget that is going to be for the benefit of the executive and the president and his deputy and NIS. Honorable Speaker, I also want you to draw your attention also to the way we have revised the revenue downwards by 153 billion Kenya shillings. And as we are doing this, you are increasing the budget by a whopping 17 billion. And clearly you can see the budget that you're increasing is giving 6.3 billion Kenya shillings to the executive. Honorable Speaker, by doing this,
yes,
we are now expanding our deficit.
Order, Honorable Kaguchia. Somebody is on a point of order. The Honorable Member for Migori.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
What's your point of order?
Honorable Speaker, the member has just said that the increment is for the president and his deputy. I'd like to remind him that that office does not belong to His Excellency Ruto. That office belongs to Kenyans. So it's not a personal benefit to the president and his deputy. He needs to be very clear on that. And you know, just on a light note, Honorable Speaker, I have been in opposition. Let us oppose with sincerity, not just to make a name. You know, the way we are opposing things here, it's like we are doing a game. It's like for the television to capture you. I have been opposing in this House, but I oppose with matters that really concern one, and I say the truth. I don't just bring stories like this one of benefit to Honorable Ruto. How is he going to benefit? He has his salary. He's eating in his house with his wife, his salary. So there's no benefit directly to a person. It is to the office. So even your future president that you think might come will benefit on that note. Even the State House that has been renovated, it is not for his, it is not for His Excellency. I am still on His Excellency, Honorable Speaker. There's disrespect from the Honorable Member. I am on the floor. He's standing right behind me. It doesn't work like
Honorable
that.
Speaker.
Order, Honorable Fatima.
Honorable Speaker.
I made my point, but also Honorable Speaker.
The member for Migori is not on any point of order, and she is.
Order, Honorable Gagucha, proceed. Give the mic to Honorable Gagucha, please. Prosecute the matter that is before you.
Honorable Speaker, there is no cure for ignorance. Honorable member, when you see a member of the National Assembly starting to say that money that is appropriated for the State House is for the benefit of young kids and students who are in high school, who are waiting for the capitation that they have not received. Honorable member, that's when you realize that member is extremely ignorant and does not understand how public finance plays out in this country. Honorable member, Honorable Speaker, the deficit for the...
Honorable Gaguchia, when the chair tells you order, you freeze. There is a member of parliament who is on a point of order. When you rise on a point of order, you surely would want to be given an opportunity to prosecute your point of order. Honorable KJ, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And we must speak to members of parliament who are serving their first term to know that this house is guided by the standing orders. And the standing orders do talk about the manner of language that should be used, especially when addressing a fellow member. The lady that was on the floor is a lady elected by her people. And there is no way the people of Migori can elect an ignorant person to parliament. Mr. Speaker, there is a language that cannot be used among members in the House. And this must be withdrawn, Mr. Speaker. And the discipline must be restored in this House so that we bring back the respect of this House so that it is not a shouting banter in the market. Mr. Speaker, that is very well specified in our standing orders, and if Honorable Gaguchia does not know which standing order it is, I can refer to him by standing order and the number of the standing order. He ought to withdraw and apologize to the Honorable member and the people of Migori. We do not have ignorant people in this House, Mr. Speaker. I do thank you.
Order, Honorable members, order. Honorable member is on a point of order, and the chair is going to rule. Honorable Gaguchia, you indeed use the word ignorant to describe the honorable member of parliament. Order. I am the chair. He is managing the house. He doesn't need any support from anybody. The Honorable Gaguchia, you did refer to the honorable member for Migori as ignorant. You with the order. Order. Order, order. Honorable Gaguchia, when the chair is addressing you, you don't stand. You sit down. Order. Order. Honorable members. Who is the one who said order? Honorable member, the word ignorant is unparliamentary. Please withdraw that and proceed on with your presentation.
Honorable Speaker, I actually said that ignorance has no cure. And anyone who has found cure for ignorance might as well inform me so that I can know what that cure is. Honorable Speaker, I only say that ignorance has no cure.
Order, honorable members, if that's what the honorable... Order! Honorable Fatuma, you have had a long spell for you to prosecute your point of order. Allow other members of parliament also to prosecute the issues on this. Order, order. No. If you
thank you very much.
He said, as he puts it, ignorance is no cure. He did not specifically say the honorable member for Migori is ignorant. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that protection. Honorable Speaker, I find that the deficit in our budget now has been expanded by 170 billion to 1.3 trillion Kenya shillings from 1.99 trillion Kenya shillings. And you also realize from this supplementary budget, the domestic borrowing has been expanded by 162 billion to 1.13 trillion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, we are speaking from, or this country is now speaking from double sides of the mouth. When you say that we are not going to borrow, and then you see this kind of increase being done. Honorable Speaker, I propose this money that has been allocated in this supplementary budget to State House, to Deputy President's office, to NIS, to Interior, to the tune of 6.3 billion Kenya shillings. That these four offices are meant to spend this money within the next 2 weeks. Honorable Speaker, I respectively propose that that money be put on road construction, be put on capitation for schools, be put on medication for our people in hospitals, and be put on agriculture to subsidize seeds, especially now when we are going to planting season very soon, so that our people can benefit from these maneuvers that we do in our supplementary budget, rather than benefit a few individuals who seem to be enriching themselves, living large and comfortable lives at the expense of Kenyans who are suffering.
Order, Kaguchia, order. I'm actually directing the clerks at the table. Every time the Speaker directs somebody and says order, if that person continues on talking, switch off the mic. That's the rule. What's your point of order, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, Majority Leader?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On relevance, Honorable Speaker, and I was listening to the member for Mukurweini, Honorable Kaguchia. Just to remind him, we are debating supplementary estimates
Two. And if indeed it is true, ignorance has no cure, I don't know how we may cure some of what we are seeing in the House when you purport that you can now move money in a supplementary 2 budget, 12 days to the end of the financial year to benefit this and that group. Truly, Honorable Speaker, ignorance would have no cure in that case. And if ignorance has no cure...
Ignorance has cure because if somebody is ignorant, he gets informed or educated.
Honorable Speaker, you know, if ignorance has no cure, even the ignorant, you may not be able to educate them. That is why, Honorable Speaker, you have had some people say that this and that clause has this and that when it doesn't have, and when you challenge them, they tell us, don't refer to the clauses in the bill. I just want the member for Mukurweini to remain relevant to the debate. Cognizant that this is supplementary estimates 2, not supplementary estimates 1. At the end of the financial year, 12 days to the end of the financial year. And if you bother to listen to the chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, most of these are realignments and reallocations towards the close of the year so that you do not leave gaps in one state department against the other. There is no additional expenditure.
Proceed, Honorable Kaguchia. Allow
Honorable Speaker, just a minute, Dr. Oudo. Honorable Speaker, arrogance is worse than ignorance. Honorable Speaker, this executive and this government has been misleading Kenyans by using Article 223 of the Constitution to spend money without approval of this House and come last minute to get approval. Honorable Speaker, that does not make it right either, Honorable Speaker. Why can't we be spending this money in the right areas of our economy? And so,
Honorable Speaker, as much as we are saying ignorance has no cure, Article 223 of the Constitution is an article of the Constitution of Kenya. And the drafters of the Constitution had reason to give us powers, or to give the executive powers, to utilize Article 223 of the Constitution. And therefore, if that article was not useful to the country, we would never have enacted into law in 2010 when we enacted the Constitution. And any expenditure that comes under Article 223 is up to this House to oversight whether those funds are going to proper use. I wish the member was speaking to those issues, but not telling us that Article 223
you made your point, Honorable Majority Leader. Allow the Honorable Kaguchia to make his point. Are you
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, the Article 223 would have been okay if we were using it to help get medication and drugs in hospitals. If we were using it to build and construct roads, but not for hiring choppers, not for hiring jets, which have massage seats, not for moving from...
Honorable Atandi, is there a point of order? The chair of the Budget Committee.
Honorable Speaker, I know I will have my chance to respond when I'll be replying. But I just wanted to inform the House that for this particular...
You cannot inform the House. Do you wish to inform
I wish to inform the Honorable Kaguchia.
Honorable Kaguchia, do you wish to be informed?
That...
Be informed by Dr. Oudo,
sorry,
not by the... Yeah, Dr. Odo, please.
Honorable Speaker, let me reframe my concern. That
If it's a point of order
yes,
and you want to...
Yeah, it's a point of order.
You want to clarify...
Yes, I would like to clarify.
Yes.
I would like to clarify that even though the majority leader has explained the purpose for Article 223, which is an act which is in the law, and we have used it before. But for the sake of this, for the sake of the matter before the House,
yes,
we are not regularizing any expenditure under Article 223. So therefore, the Honorable Kagucha is out of order to be continuously talking about Article 223 as if it is something that is before the House. The supplementary bill before us, supplementary 2, SMS 2, has nothing on Article 223. So let him be informed. Thank you.
Honorable members, for purpose... What's your point of order? On order to who? Who is out of order? No, you can't inform him because his time is up. But order. Honorable Kaguchia, I give you half a minute more. But please be relevant and use your time properly.
Honorable Speaker, I want to clearly put it that the chair of budget has talked about Article 223.
Order. Do you wish to be informed by Honorable Oudo?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, when the Honorable Majority Leader was indicating, he misled the House. This particular supplementary budget has got an increase of 18 billion above what was approved in this House. Just wanted to go on record so that I inform him, because he was given wrong information. This supplementary budget has an increase of 18 billion and is stated here in order number 14 of today's stand order paper. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Oudo, for the information. Honorable Speaker, you can see the hypocrisy and the...
Order, prosecute your...
Honorable Speaker, the point is that the majority leader is the one who alluded to Article 223, what the budget chair is talking about. Honorable Speaker, the point is that we have 6.3 billion Kenya shillings that is being proposed in this supplementary budget for the 4 higher offices in this country. And that is what we are opposing, and that is what we are saying. We must remove this money and give it to the children of this country, use it to buy drugs, use it to construct roads, Honorable Speaker, because it is not right that we use a whooping 200 million Kenya shillings in the office of the Deputy President, a whooping 1 billion Kenya shillings in the State House, 1.55 billion Kenya shillings in the internal security, and in the National Intelligence Services, 3.55 billion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, this is wrong, and Kenyans must know how their money...
Time is up. Honorable Murugara. Honorable Murugara. Honorable members.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we must always get those notions which are wrong out of the way. Number one, we are doing exactly what we are empowered to do, which is to approve a supplementary estimate brought to this House. The only requirement we need from the executive is exactly what is the purpose of that supplementary estimate. Where it turns on Article 223, this House would actually be informed accordingly and may ratify the expenditure or decline to ratify the expenditure. As far as this estimate is concerned, we've been informed that these are realignments. These are reallocations. Money that was budgeted for, but has to be moved so that it is in tandem with what the country needs. It is wrong for us, honorable members, to say one state department is not important, another state department is more important, while in actual fact, we do have budget allocations for each of these state departments. It cannot be said that the office of the president or state house is not important to this country. In fact, It is the seat, the unifying seat of the country is actually at the State House, in the office of the president. You can imagine how it would be if we were to treat that office with the contempt, as some members are trying to do, purely because they feel it is not in line with their political inclination. You can imagine what would happen if there is any of the state departments that is underfunded, and therefore has to be funded through an alignment. As far as this is concerned, we have pointed out that internal security is an important facet of the country. This is where we find our security agencies, internal, and this money is going towards our police force, our GSU, and all those ones who provide us with internal security. NIS, there's no way this country can survive without NIS. We would be foolish if we did that, because we would be caught here unawares, not knowing what is happening in our own country. We've talked about other very important factors which are not being mentioned, like the Nyoro program, a turning point to our youths in Kenya. And nobody whatsoever, nobody in this house would dispute the fact that the Nyoro program is one of the most important programs in our country. Ask any other youngster who has benefited from this, and as they continue to benefit, because money is coming up in tranches, we cannot vote because a supplementary has come in to say some money has to be allocated to these youths. Therefore, we are doing what we are mandated to do under our constitution today. Ours is either to agree or disagree, but not to make proposals say that as we speak today, there is no money budgeted for health. While we know there is a budget for that at the national level, we have a budget for that at the county level. You cannot say roads are not budgeted for. In fact, it is inappropriate for this debate because there is a budget for roads here and at the county level. So, sincerely speaking, what we are doing today is to confine ourselves to what has been introduced by the Budget and Appropriations Committee. And thank you very much, Honorable Atande, because you went through this very quickly, absolutely, so that you can align it with what the House requires. This is why we are saying, in the remaining 2 weeks, for whatever reason, if there is any money that is going to be misappropriated or misapplied, that is our work. That is why it's called oversight. Pick it out, bring it here, and we shall deal with it in accordance with the law of the country. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I do support this report that we pass the miscellaneous appropriations bill.
MP for Game.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of the motion. I know my colleagues who have had contrary opinion. I've targeted the presidency, the deputy president's office, and NIS. And what is important, the president is so important for the country. And that's why the president of the Republic of Kenya today is in a meeting with the G7, when all African presidents are in Africa here, and talking on behalf of the continent. And more importantly, if you talk about National Intelligence Service, gentlemen, all of us, we are here safe and guarded because of the support of that agency. And that money is not for an individual, it's for the agency. So we should be wary of what we say because the public is watching us as leaders. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I rise on point of order 95.
Order. MP for Game, order. MP for order. The honorable members, why do you want to usurp or usurp the powers of the Speaker? Order. Honorable CNN, the Speaker does not need any assistance from you. Being a first-timer, and somebody has been here and came into Parliament in 1992 and has been a Deputy Speaker, what assistance does he need from you? Anyway, order. For the knowledge, for the information of all the members who are either first-timers or do not understand. You can only rise on standing order number 95. if you have not contributed to that motion yourself, number one, and not as part of a contribution. The moment, so whoever wants to stand on a standing order number 95 can only do it if he has not contributed to that matter itself and feels the matter is properly addressed. Okay, order, you have already exhausted your time, just sit down. Are you on a point of order? Yes, proceed on the point of order, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want first to confirm that I have not contributed to this debate.
Fair enough, it's understood. If
Much
you had
as I would have wished
the clerks at the table would have informed me. So
much as I would have wished to do so, Honorable Speaker. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to stand under Standing Order number 95 into bracket 1. I have listened carefully to my colleagues, and, Honorable Speaker, it looks like we are exhausting substance of discussions on this particular debate, and it is my proposal, Honorable Speaker, that the mover be called upon to reply. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Honorable members. Order, honorable members. I now want to put the question that the mover be called upon to reply. As many of the people say aye. Aye. As many of the people say nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me first of all thank members for the robust debate that has happened on the supplementary estimates too. Honorable Speaker, I did not expect a lot of interest on this bill, but I'm grateful for the members. You have indeed demonstrated that this is indeed a budget-making house. Honorable Speaker, I just want to allay fears from members, some of the members who are questioning some of the allocations. Principally, Honorable Speaker, there are very, very, very important allocations that we are approving in this bill. First of all, Honorable Speaker, if you look at the allocations under sports, all of us are aware that we are soon going to host the AFCON, the African Cup of Nations. Honorable Speaker, this will require that the country is well prepared. We need to prepare the training grounds where the various teams are going to train. We also need to complete the stadiums where we are going to host the matches. Honorable Speaker, the funds that belong to the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund are funds which we collect from betting. In the recent past, because of the interest in sports, this fund has continued to grow. And in fact, the collections surpassed what we had budgeted, we had approximated when we were doing the revenue estimations. So in the process, we have been able to raise more revenue, and this is the revenue that we want to direct to the completion of these stadiums so that we are indeed ready to host the matches. Honorable Speaker, we have allocations to Nyota. These are donor funds, Honorable Speaker, and donors are ready to disburse the funds as soon as we have passed the estimates. Honorable Speaker, there are just about 2 billion allocated to security operations. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, let us be aware that we should never compromise on the security of our country, and that should there be an incident that is ugly, we will be told that we did not appropriate resources to do the same. And therefore, I really would not support members who are saying that allocation to security is unnecessary. Yet we all want security. Even when we get out of Parliament, we will want to be safe. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, this House should always support funds going for our security. Honorable Speaker, there was an uproar here when we were passing the main estimates for 2026, 2027, that the arrears for invigilators who supported the exams had not been factored in the budget. I want to confirm, Honorable Speaker, that in these supplementary estimates, we have 1.5 billion which is going to be used to sort out the arrears of those teachers who supported the invigilation process when our students were doing exams. Honorable Speaker, this supplementary is very tiny. This country is running a budget of over 4.3 trillion. So an amendment of about 18 billion is not something that should cause us to behave as if the country is going to lose so much when we pass these limited adjustments. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I would like to move and I would like to reply. And I would like to reply and ask, sorry, thank you. I would like to reply, thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that this House adopts the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on its consideration of the second supplementary estimates for the financial year 2025-2026, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, the 17th June, the year 2026, and pursuant to Section 39 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, and Standing Order number 243. 1, Roman 1, approves an increase of the current expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026 by Kenya shillings 7,619,000,000 in respect of the votes contained in the first schedule. Roman 2, approves an increase of the capital expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026 by Kenya shillings 10,618,023,911 in respect of the votes contained in the first schedule. Roman 3 approves an overall increase in the total budget for the financial year 2025-2026 by Kenya shillings 18,237,023,911 in respect of the votes contained in the first schedule. And Roman 5 makes financial recommendations as contained in the third schedule. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Yes. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 15, the Plant Protection Bill, National Assembly Bill number 28 of 2025. Second reading.
Majority Leader, would you want to move that or you want it?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move that the Plant Protection Bill, National Assembly Bill number 28 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, allow me first to thank the Committee of Agriculture who considered this bill and took it through very extensive public participation, because this is a very critical bill in a country like ours, which we pride ourselves of being an agro-based economy. Honorable Speaker, you members are aware that in an agro-based economy like ours, productivity, especially of our food crops, is very critical, not just in the matter of sustaining our food security, but also in ensuring that we are stable as a nation, because without food security, instability as a nation comes into play. Honorable Speaker, the provisions of this bill is quite a lengthy bill, Honorable Speaker, with almost 60-something, 75 clauses. And it is important, Honorable Speaker, I continue to re-emphasize the number of clauses in the bill, so that those like the member for Kobchai, the Honorable Kalasinga, who are purporting a finance bill has 169 clauses, and referring to a bill saying that clause 169 in this bill, and the bill had only 57 clauses, so this bill has only 75 clauses. So for those who are not very keen in reading bills, it's important that you go through every clause of a bill, so that as you legislate, you are aware what are the provisions of each and every clause in a bill. That is what good legislators do. Good legislators don't listen to propaganda out there, watch the things that are being said on TikTok clips, or what is being said on social media, then come to propagate that on the floor of the House.